Travis Wingoodsill. It's 3:22 in the morning. We're gonna go live to whatever results for the lawsuit against the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I woke up with her final order in my dreams. It was showing me the docket. It said order, motion to dismiss, denied, and that was it. There was no order granting a win to either side or anything. But the date was April 23rd, not April 30th. April 23rd was when the church filed their certificate of service finally. And I've gone over that on how that was just, they fell right into that. They're now 24 days late. So, alright, let's find out what really is the case. It's going to take a while for the internet to load. Oh man. The lawyers for the church already know the results, regardless of what they are, because of the members of the church who work there in the courthouse. They've been in connection with the lawyers this whole time, giving them advance notice. And Thursday, April 23rd, certificate of service. She failed to do anything. Damn. Judge Furse has let it pass on to another judge to decide the case. She's no longer employed. Yesterday was her last day. And looking at the docket, there's nothing. She failed everybody. She caved to the pressure and saved her own ass. She got fired for allowing Gaddy versus COP and was given my case after she'd been fired with orders to dismiss. She didn't do it. She allowed my case too, but she did nothing with it. And she's leaving it for another Mormon judge who will do the same thing as in Gaddy versus COP. And yeah, there's no email either, as I figured, because I would have seen the email. So, yeah, that's it. The church is going to get away with it. All their crimes committed against me, committed against you, committed against everyone in the world, they're going to get away with it. Oh, happy day. And today is May 1st, 2020. It is the anniversary of the founding of the Illuminati. The Illuminati, as I've been telling you, infiltrated the Scottish Rites Freemason lodges in the United States. William Morgan found out about it, went to Canandaigua, New York, where Joseph Smith Sr. was the Master Mason. Joseph Smith Sr. knew all about it. Joseph Smith Sr. helped William Morgan flee the country. Joseph Smith Sr. took over the responsibility of finishing the publishing of William Morgan's work. Joseph Smith Sr. had his son Jr. distract the person who was going to pay for the publication, Martin Harris, because it could no longer be the Batavian Press with David Miller. David Miller then agreed to publish a book under William Morgan's name called Illustrations of Freemasonry, which only went over the initiation rites for the first 3 levels, which is the entrance to becoming a member, the 2nd level, and the Master Mason level, which is the 3rd level. It did not go over any of the other ranks in either Scottish Rites or York Rites, even though he was York Rites. That generalization was a result of the fear in the public that caused the anti-Mason movement, which saved America in 1826. And so Senior was going to take over the warning message that William Morgan had. William Morgan was also going to talk about the sale to the Knights Templar by the Mandan Indian tribe, discovered by Lewis and Clark. The Kensington Stone was the sale of purchase of the eastern United States. And that was dated 1363, so long before Columbus, because after Friday the 13th, the Knights Templar were banished. They were on the run, and made their way to America, to Kensington to buy the land. Then, where X marks the spot, on 8 April 2024, the 2 solar eclipses. They knew about them. And how do we know we knew? Little Egypt in southern Illinois is the crossroads. And they buried their treasure plates. Yeah, treasure plates. Buried treasure plates. What did Joseph Smith say he did? Found buried treasure plates, as told to him by a messenger from heaven. And so all of the history of the church that we have come to believe was a real event is actually just a coded message warning us for our day and time because of the signs of the second coming that the Scottish Rites Lodge was intending to use to destroy America after being foiled in 1826. And so that's why the Book of Mormon talks about American Indians, and the white skin and black skin has nothing to do with racism. It's the coding that has to do with light versus darkness, good versus evil. And so the light of the body is the eye. If thy body be full of darkness, how great is that darkness? That's what it was referring to. Brigham Young, however, changed the interpretation, because Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball were from the Scottish Rites Lodge. They were not from the York Rites, which had the Knights Templar as the highest rank. And they had Joseph murdered. Through the same exact process that they were planning to do in 1826 in America. Infiltrate, rise up, take over authority positions, conquer the top position, establish a king on the throne, and establish a religion to conquer Christianity. That was their plan. And so Joseph Smith Sr. was the one in charge of mounting a defense for the future. He organized an organization, included religion with it, as he made the deal with Sidney Rigdon to write the book. But because Joseph Jr. messed up and lost the 116 pages to Martin Harris, who was uncomfortable with the Freemason involvement in it, because he was on the anti-Mason committee in Palmyra. Joseph Smith Sr. then said, okay, we know now of Sidney Rigdon because of the wording in Section 3 and Section 10 of the Doctrine and Covenants. They already knew of him, and the Spalding manuscript that was unpublished. And that's why they used that manuscript, because it was unpublished. And so they thought nobody knew of it. Unfortunately, Mormonism unveiled. They caught on. The town where he was from and had read his book in the local pubs, the people said, hey, we recognize this story. So their cover was almost blown. But anyway, Heber C. Kimball knew exactly who they were when he got the book from William Smith, who was on a mission passing out the Book of Mormon. And so the Smiths clearly did not realize that the infiltration had already occurred. They did not realize that they were going to be now exposed now. And so they welcomed a whole ton of the converts of Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball, who were of the Scottish Rites Lodge, who had a grudge and a vengeance out for whoever thwarted their plans. Heber C. Kimball's Wikipedia page has his words from his journal that's in possession of the Kimball family. And what we are allowed to know about under Masonry is that he knew. He blatantly lies, or the Kimball family blatantly lies on his behalf, because what he actually said is something they don't want the public to know, so they're controlling the narrative. But from what is revealed, he knew. And so the signs and symbols of Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball's Scottish Rites, having been infiltrated by the Illuminati, were made manifest after murdering Joseph. The Nauvoo Temple then was built and designed with the Illuminati inverted pentagrams of Lucifer, the Church of Lucifer. And it was dedicated on the 1st of May. Look it up, Mormons. Know your history. They were letting the Scottish Rites members who were underground because of that attack that saved America, that they had actually conquered the people who had done it. And they continued that symbolism as Brigham Young fled America, came to Mexico territory, established his kingdom of Deseret, establishing himself as king. The United States came in and conquered that kingdom, but he was able to put in the Seagull Gate with the inverted pentagram pointing at the Capitol building that's now existing there on the hill, to let everyone know we are in control of the government here in Utah territory. And it's right there at Temple Square, where the Salt Lake Temple also has inverted pentagrams on it, just as Brigham Young designed. To again remind everyone, they are of the Scottish Rites, and we have conquered our part. We are the religion of Lucifer for the latter days. And so the Scottish Rites in Washington, D.C. set up the roads as an inverted pentagram pointing at the White House, just like the inverted pentagram on the Seagull Gate points at the Capitol building. And because the governor's office is there at the Capitol building, rather than the White House having his own office, which is different in the state of Utah. And the Scottish Rites Lodge in Washington, D.C. being at the Horns. And Salt Lake City, where the temple and the Seagull Gate is proportionately equivalent where the Scottish Rites Lodge is with the inverted pentagram streets in Washington, D.C. All giving the signs and secret symbols and coding to show that they have set things up in motion to proceed with their plans in the future, just as the Book of Mormon warned about. But because Brigham Young conquered the church, he set in motion the deception and the lies so that Mormons would never know what they were supposed to do and how to properly interpret the Book of Mormon. And so the leaders of the Mormon Church have all deceived us into studying it for a knowledge of Jesus Christ, when Jesus Christ was a code for Moses, the latter-day Moses, the second coming of Moses, not Jesus. So again, we have section 103 of the Doctrine and Covenants, where Joseph Smith says, I will raise up a man like Moses, who shall lead my people, the Mormons, to redeem Zion. Exactly the same scenario in the Bible, where Moses freed the Israelites from Israel. Likewise, a man like Moses would be born and raised in the apostate Mormon church to lead the Mormons out of Utah to the Promised Land, which was southern Illinois. In Joseph Smith's talk, 19 July 1840, which never got published as a section in the Doctrine and Covenants. Joseph Smith said we need to build the cities of Jerusalem, New Jerusalem, and Zion in southern Illinois. We need to build them as mountain cities. Pyramids. Southern Illinois had nothing to do with the mountains of Ephraim. And Joseph, in that same talk, said, there are Mormons among us right here in this talk that I'm giving who want to have me murdered. He was giving his Sermon on the Mount because he knew he was not going to be that Moses as he was raised up by his father to be. Couldn't be Hiram. Hiram had the name of the one who was murdered in the Freemason rituals. And so Hiram became the patriarch after the death of Senior. And I did that patriarch video the other day. So, there you go. The Illuminati has prevented me from defeating the Church of Satan from fulfilling their plans with this takeover using coronavirus, which was the same exact virus with Moses when Moses confronted Pharaoh. So it's now out of my hands. It's going to be passed on to another judge now. It has to be reassigned, and that's not in my power to reassign it. That's going to be up to Judge Waddups, now that Judge Furse is gone. He may decide to take it up himself. And so he will end up dismissing it to protect his church, to protect the Scottish Rites Illuminati. But I don't know. It's out of my hands. So we're going to have to now hope in the true God taking over now. Joseph Smith indicated in the Doctrine and Covenants passage that I referred to you yesterday, in the description though, that the Great and Abominable Church, which I pointed out they were referencing to the apostate church that took over his church, would be, which means they knew that their organization was going to be taken over, so they did know. Yeah, it wasn't that they were ignorant and naive, that there wasn't a threat anymore, that it was going to be rebuilding and they would never be exposed. They actually knew they were going to be infiltrated, just like America was going to be infiltrated through Scottish Rites. They knew. And so, yeah, they still tried to set up Joseph to be the restoring Moses. But yeah, they knew, at least as early as 1832, from what I've found, they knew they were going to be infiltrated and taken over. Confirmed in 1840 in that July 19th talk. Huh. Wow. So, well, even with the Book of Mormon, yeah. Because the Great and Abominable Church is not Catholics. It's their organization that gets taken over. Wow. They knew that their Book of Mormon would be that book that is usurped, and they refer to it as the Book of the Jews. How funny. Wow, so breaking news. Breaking news. Book of Mormon reveals that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was going to be conquered and taken over by the enemy of America, of mankind, by the Great and Abominable Church, the Church of Lucifer, The Illuminati, who was planning on taking over the United States. My God. Alrighty. So, I can't do anything now. Because Judge Furse no longer works. That's what was reported on November 1st, is that the end of May, or April, sorry, the end of April was her last day on the job. And that was yesterday. So, alrighty. It's 10 minutes to 4. I'm going to have to do this video after I run. I'm just going to have to live my life now, one day at a time. I'm most likely going to be the most vulnerable right now, as the church thinks that they got away with it, because now they have Mormons left to side with them. So there'll be more pressure placed on me, but they'll keep me in suspense. I already know the current players who've been threatening my life, including the lawyers through whom they've been revealing themselves as threatening me. But like Joseph, I'm now a target, because I exposed in the nature of the case of this plot, and a couple of my counts was that the church had deceived me into thinking I was on the good guy's side to save the Constitution, to save America in these latter days. And so they know I know, because one of the death threats I received was an eviction notice on, it was in March though, not October, Friday the 13th. So they know. They know. Alrighty. Yeah, because Mormons aren't going to rise up against their church. And others already left, so they just want nothing to do with it. There was a movement, Protect LDS Children. They were successful in changing bishops' interviews for children. Sort of. It was more of a compromise. And the guy has been silenced because nothing more is done. He has his website still, but he hasn't published the book. That he got my permission to publish my thing that I submitted. I see on MSNBC abused by the church hotline for legal help. If you've been sexually abused by the church, you're to call them and they'll help you. So, and yeah, I'm aware of at least 2 people having moved here who were sexually abused by the church. So, I can let them know. Alright. So, yeah, what do we do now as a people? Because the Illuminati have taken over America, and using coronavirus to exterminate us. That's why America is number one in the coronavirus. That's why Trump is wanting us to drink bleach. They're purposely trying to put us back to work to continue to expose us. Because we're not dying as fast as they want us to. They're going for an extermination. They're trying to conquer America. And then, with the survivors, rebuild a new world order. And everybody's been talking about it. Illuminati, New World Order. They've allowed it to be known that that's what their plans are. Because they've now changed the definition of a conspiracy theory. As in my lawsuit, the lawyers said, this is a conspiracy theory. No duh. That's the jurisdiction I filed it under, was for conspiracy theories. More than one person involved in a crime against me. It's not 1983 jurisdiction, where it's a one-on-one. Oh, he hurt me, I want damage. I want relief for damages. No, it's a conspiracy. The church leaders give orders to others to attack me. That's a conspiracy theory. And why? Because I found out Joseph Smith was a translator. I pursued ancient languages. Because I'm born and raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Joseph is claimed to be the founder of our organization. So if he's the founder, and none of the prophets have done anything with his translation work, well, I want to know. So I pursued the education. I deciphered Paleo-Hebrew. I deciphered Egyptian petroglyphs. I discovered that the Bible came from the translations of the Egyptian petroglyphs. Walked right into it. Nobody else had done it. Everybody else was coming up with other bogus theories. And see, the thing with science is that you're supposed to have a hypothesis. You're supposed to develop that hypothesis into a theory. A theory needs to be testable. If you can't produce a test for your theory, you have to dismiss it. If you develop a theory and you test it and it comes up negative, you have to dismiss it. Science is not doing that. Case in point, the theory of evolution. They're not dismissing it. They can't reproduce it. The Big Bang Theory by the Catholic, not Hubble. Again, they have to dismiss it. They can't reproduce it. They're claiming that multi-billions of light years away from us, a certain concoction in space that was not space yet exploded one day. They can't reproduce that. If you can't reproduce it, you've got to dismiss it. And that's what Christians don't understand either. But that's what science is trying to do to Christians, but then they themselves are not dismissing the theories that are automatically wrong. Like William Foxwell Albright, who came up with the theory that Proto-Sinaitic is Proto-Hebrew. Paleo-Hebrew. No, he has to dismiss it. He's dead now, but my decipherment outdoes his. So his has to be dismissed. Just like all of the theories for how the Israelites got into Canaan. There's the Bible story narrative, but it must be dismissed. It didn't happen that way. The archaeological evidence shows otherwise. And all the other theories dismiss, but nobody's dismissing them. And so there's all sorts of theories out there that are not getting properly dismissed as science requires. And so despite being the Illuminati and pursuing science over Catholicism and Christianity, as they consider Catholic Christianity darkness to their science of light, they're still not dismissing what they need to dismiss. And then Christians, they say, oh, it was the clockmaker analogy, or creationism. We want it taught in our schools. You have to dismiss it. It's not the case. The evidence shows otherwise. So anyway, I don't want to go on too long, but I'm already 35 minutes, 36 minutes. So, alrighty. I hope you guys are surviving. I hope you're not drinking bleach. I hope you're not going back to work. I know they're trying to murder us. I still haven't received my stimulus check. I am hearing others who are getting it, but I haven't gotten mine. But I still have an income that keeps coming in on a regular basis, so I'm better off than those who are unemployed. And those who are unemployed, man, I wish I could have won so that I could have helped you. But we need a rebellion in America. We need a revolution in America. We need an uprising in America to say, hey, Illuminati, no, we will not let you take our land. But who's willing to do it? Who's actually listening to me and believing? And that's the problem that I face, is nobody actually believes, because the Illuminati has convinced everyone that the threat of the Illuminati is just a hoax, it's just a scare tale, and yet we're living it right now. They're changing America into the New World Order by locking us up at home. They're allowing us our entertainment, but they are going to destroy our entertainment. No more movies, no more TV shows. What's been produced is it, and they're coming to the ends of their seasons. Some have already ended. They don't like it that people were making lots of money off of being a celebrity. They don't like it that people were making lots of money by being just a sports person, sports celebrity. And it didn't help that those of color were making lots of money being either a celebrity or a sports hero. Yeah, they're racist. They didn't like it. They, the rich, white supremacist elite, were not happy with coloreds getting rich like them. Because what happens when everybody is rich? The ultra-rich are not as rich as they could be. So you have to knock down the people who are trying to be rich and enslave them again. They've already done that with the economy, because businesses pay less than a living wage. And that's slavery. So there's more breaking news for you. And so this time now where we're allowed to watch streaming shows, we can't order DVDs. DVD places are closing up. We still have a couple of them, but they're smaller now. The Taylorsville FYE which is the last biggest resource for DVDs, it closed in January. There's still the Salt Lake one left in Utah. That's it. It's a smaller store. There's Gray Whale, but it's for used trade-ins. They don't do much with new stuff. But that's it for Utah now. Amazon, coronavirus is giving them excuse to delay shipment of DVD purchases as unnecessary. See what they've done? Unnecessary. Entertainment is unnecessary. They've already been punishing the poor by the government with the health insurance, and people are upset that the poor are getting free health care. They don't deserve it. And the guy who on Snap, remember him who bought lobster? Food. It was still food. But people said, oh, that's an inappropriate use. That's the wrong kind of food for your kind of people. Your kind? Is he not human? See the racism that goes on. The hatred of anyone else. The justifications and excuses to call others subhuman. Unworthy. And so, yeah, we're trapped at home now with the real threat of a viral killer. And eventually, streaming is going to go away. Either because you can't afford it anymore, because you no longer work, or because there's nothing more to make because of coronavirus shutting the whole industry down. So, alrighty. I'm past now. I gotta go running.